What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Show. Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Direct Page Punchers Aquaman set. So in this set we have 4 characters, 2 good guys of Aquaman and Aqualad here. So both of those look cool, and of course with these they come with the comics in the back, and each one of these is cool because they all have like unique covers for each of the characters, so I think that's really cool. But it's going to be the same comic for each one, so same story with each one. And then we get our 2 bad guys of Ocean Master and Black Manta. So this is a pretty cool Aquaman wave where we get Aquaman and Aqualad, which are both big Aquaman character names, as well as his 2 main villains. So it's cool we get 2 heroes and the 2 main villains. So really cool wave once again for the Page Puncher. So I'm excited to check them out. Of course, they all have their unique looks. I believe these are based on more of like McFarlane's own creations or designs for them, but I think they all look really cool. Aquaman's a little bit weird, but the others all look cool. So let me just go and get these out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with Aquaman, but we've looked at Aquaman multiple times. His real name is Arthur Curry, and he's a half human, half Atlantean, and also the king of Atlantis. And with him having the Atlantean physiology, he has superhuman strength, speed, durability, reflexes, and senses. He also has accelerated healing and marine telepathy, so obviously he can talk to like fish and stuff. But he looks decent here. It's definitely not my favorite Aquaman, and to me, we just don't have that perfect Aquaman yet. But as I sort of mentioned in the open, this is supposed to be like McFarlane's take on the figures, but I think it's decent. The body looks decent, except the shirt is kind of weird and definitely needs like a wash or something on it. It's just way too much orange in there, but it's nice with the scaling design, looks pretty cool. But there we have the face of Arthur Curry, and I like how he has the beard. I always like Aquaman with the beard, but just his hair looks weird. It's almost like a mullet or something, where it seems a little bit shorter on top and then gets longer in the back there. So I just don't like overall this like hair design here specifically on him. And then as I mentioned, he's got the all orange like upper body section, which is pretty typical for Aquaman. Just on here, I don't like it. It's just way too much orange. It doesn't really seem to fit in with the rest of the body. But he's got this nice silver armor piece going up there on his shoulder, which looks cool. It has some nice details and stuff into it. So he's got that shoulder armor as well as some gauntlet pieces on his wrist. So nice little fins and stuff on it there. So that's pretty decent. And then he's got the gold belt with the Aquaman logo on it there. So going all the way around, and then has some gold there on his thighs as well, which looks pretty cool. Can't really tell what that is unless it's just like a floral design, but has that on both sides. And then I love the green pants, the nice dark green. So that's why I said that's the contrast between the such bright orange that are just like way too orange and pretty basic to the dark green that looks really cool. It just doesn't fit very well, but the green has a lot of nice textures and lines running through, so you have the fish scale, and then just the other texture there looks cool, all the way down to the gold boots, and again that has just like some florally designs, but his fins there on the back and stuff just overall looks pretty cool. Just like I said, the head and the upper body just I don't like too much. I wish it was made different, but that's just what he came up with. But for me, once you get the head that can twist around, it's gonna be hard because of the hair, so you just twist a little side to side and you look down that far and then up that far, so not the best movements there. We get the shoulders. You can move this shoulder, this piece is thin enough that it gets out of the way, but we'll do this arm so it can come up to 90. Has the butterfly joint, doesn't really do much, but it's there and rotates around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends all the way up on itself, with the wrist that can twist around and flex, and it's got the ball joint in there. Then we have the ab crunch, so we have the upper crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist around, and then we have the waist crunch and twist there as well. Then we get the hips that come up close to 90 and out to the side. His legs are hard to get. This one can go up much further, so it can go at least that far, but this one I can only seem to get to go out that far. He has a little bit of a thigh twist up in there, a double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, so we got the fin hitting the back of his leg, and then we get the foot that flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So pretty standard McFarlane joints, nothing too special or anything out of the ordinary, but just pretty standard. Now we have had an Aquaman before, so we can bring that one in. So this is the other Aquaman that we have. Still, I like the body and everything much more on this one, so this would probably be my preferred version of Aquaman. I just don't like the head on this one, and I don't like the head on this one, so it's like we have 2 Aquaman now. This one, like I said, body wise is pretty much perfect, what I'd expect and want for an Aquaman. I just need a different head now, so I need like the perfect Aquaman head. But accessory wise, of course, being Aquaman, we have to have the trident. So Poseidon's trident looks really cool in this all gold detail and stuff, so let's put this in his hand. So there's the trident in his hand, and that's pretty typical with the McFarlanes. The hands are super stiff, so it's really hard to get that trident in there, but with it in there now, it does look really cool, and of course adds to the look there of Aquaman. And as usual with McFarlane's, we also get the base, but I've got him standing pretty fine here. And then we also get the card, which has the comic cover, so that's what his comic cover looks like. And around on the back we have the story, which is pretty much what I've already said, so we don't need to go through that, but it looks pretty cool, and overall looks pretty decent for the Page Puncher version of Aquaman. And next up we have Aqualad, whose real name is Calderon or Jackson Hyde, and he's the son of Black Manta and a Zebellian rebel, which also makes him half human, half Atlantean, and the Zebellians are just another race of Atlanteans. But he worked alongside his mentor Aquaman and learned his powers of superhuman strength, speed, durability, and senses, as well as the ability to generate electricity and hydrokinesis. So he's got pretty cool powers, and we get some weapons that reflect that, and overall looks cool and looks pretty cool for Calder. So he's got the orange up top, so much like Aquaman has the orange, but it looks pretty cool with the fish scale. So I like this much more compared to the Aquaman. And with him being the son of Black Man, he does have the dark skin, so looks pretty good through there. And I love his hair design. So he's got like the dreads or whatever, but I like how they have the blonde wash over the top of him, so it stands out a lot there and looks cool. And then you can see he got a little backpack on the back, and he's got black pants, so like the standard Aquaman style legs there, belt around the waist with the logo. And then I love his like what I always call tattoos, but part of his like water and electricity powers and stuff with the lines on his arms there look awesome. So adds a nice pop of color there all the way down to his feet, where I like how he has some orange there on his feet. So looks pretty cool overall for Aqualad here. Now for his movements, his head twists all the way around, can look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent. Shoulders up 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. We get bicep twist and the double elbow that bends all the way up on itself, and wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. Ab crunch in the middle, so crunch back and forth and twist around, pretty stiff but can twist around there. And then at the waist, crunch back and forth and twist around. Hips can come up to 90 and out to the side, close to doing splits. A little bit of a thigh twist, double knee joint that bends up that far, so again fin hitting the back of his leg. And then the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side with the toe joint on the end. So once again, the standard McFarlane joints, but with him having less stuff in the way, he has a little bit better movements than the Aquaman does. Now for accessories, he comes with some swords. So we have his swords. These are just the handle ones that we can put into his back. So he has a little backpack piece there. So we can take and pop each of these in. So you can stick him in his backpack there. So that's cool. So you have those sticking off the back. Or he comes with actual ones with the water blade. So he has the hydrokinesis, so can control the water. And so he turns them into blades like this. So that looks really cool. I wish they were a little bit more of a blue color than this like see-through, very pale blue, almost just normal clear, just so they would stand out a little bit more. But they look really cool. Nice water effect to him and stuff with the blade points. So let's put these in his hands. So there's Aqualad with the blades, which look really cool. And of course, if he has the blades, he wouldn't have the ones in the back, but just so we don't lose him or anything, there he has those. Of course, he comes with the base plate, and then we have his card, which there's the picture from his comic, which looks really cool. Again, of Aqualad, and we'll read his story since we've not looked at him. So of course, it says Calderon is his adopted name and Jackson Hyde. And it says a natural born leader and level-headed team player. Calderon is the Atlantean human hybrid who possesses the powers to control and form water into solid constructs, pulled between not only the worlds of land and sea, but between those of good and evil itself. Calder, or Jackson Hyde, as he's known by his adoptive human parents, is striven to make sure his legacy does not define him. So there's a little more clarity there on Aqualad. Just really cool. So this is definitely one of like standout figures from this wave. It's a really cool figure, character we've not had yet, and just looks really awesome. I think McFarlane did a really good job on this figure. And next up we have Ocean Master, which we've had Ocean Master before, but this one looks really cool. His real name is Orm Marius, and he's a full-blooded Atlantean and the half-brother of Aquaman, and of course wanted to be the ruler of Atlantis, but Aquaman got chosen over him. And overall, he looks really cool, especially in this form. So I definitely love the other Ocean Master that I'll show you more, but this one just looks really cool just because of the details they put into it. Just like all the details and like armor and stuff looks like crab shell and everything, or almost like trilobite shell or something. Just it looks really cool. Has like the little like spikes and ridges along the end of it and stuff. Just looks really cool, and that runs all throughout the body there. It just looks crazy. So it's like his armor is made of crab shell and stuff. And then there we have his face, and he's so spiky, so I just moved his head, and his little fins here on the back just poked into my fingers. So you gotta be careful with this, but looks pretty cool there. Face wise, it almost looks like he's got a fish face just with the little mouth area there, but the nice red covering the eyes, and the mask with like the seahorn fins and stuff. So just looks crazy but awesome at the same time. Again, the armor going down onto his shoulders and down his forearms, and then he's got a chest plate which looks cool. Again, has detail almost like a crab shell design, and then I love the red logo or whatever there in the center, so that's crazy, with the fish scales all throughout. And then we have a cape as well, which I love the details of the cape. It almost reminds me of like leaves or something, but not sure what this would come from creature wise, but just the details, like I said, has like a leaf design to it, so that's pretty cool. I love the black, or could be really dark blue, not sure, but that color with the gold just really stands out quite a bit. Has a belt around the waist with more like that Atlantean logo, and then some more armor there on the thighs. And then again, different texture here on his legs, so it's got all this like ribbled effect that kind of runs through. It's kind of crazy, all the way down to the boots again with the gold details and armor pieces and fins on the back there as well. So like I said, definitely not my favorite version of Ocean Master, but just like for realistic designs and stuff, looks really cool. But then we do his movement, so his head can twist all the way around. Again, I'll have to be careful with all the spikes and stuff. Look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent. The shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate around. Get a bicep twist, a little bit stiff bicep twist, and the double elbow that bends pretty much all the way up. Wrist twist around and flex back and forth. Upper ab crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist, and then waist crunch back and forth and twist. Hips can come up at least that far, so about 45, just a little bit of stiffness in the underwear and out to the side. Barely any thigh twist, but a double knee joint that can bend up that far at least. And then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So once again, standard joints, but still, like I said, just looks really cool with this overall design. Now, accessory wise, he actually comes with some additional hands. I don't know why exactly, but he has some like claw hands or whatever you want to call it there. So cool that he does come with that. So we got those to go along with his grip hands. And for that grip, we have his trident, which looks really cool here. And again, it's supposed to look like it's made of like fish bones and whatever and stuff. Just looks crazy running throughout it. And then even has some like this barbed wire chain type stuff all wrapped around the center here. So that just looks crazy as well. So let's put this in his hand. So there's the trident in his hand. And again, looks pretty cool there overall for Ocean Master. He of course comes with the base, and then we also have his card with his picture from the comic, which looks really cool there. And on the back we have Ocean Master known as Orm Marius, as Orm is eternally jealous of his half brother known on the surface world as Aquaman, and has dedicated his life to not only taking the throne away from him and thereby taking it for himself, but also destroying everything and everyone that he holds dear. Although they are related by blood, Orm has none of Aquaman's nobility or charity and only exhibits ruthlessness and sadism. So that's a good explanation, I guess, there for Ocean Master. And overall, like I said, looks really cool. Definitely not my favorite look. Oh, and I forgot to show the other one. So here is our other Ocean Master. So I definitely like this one more in how I picture Ocean Master. But like I said, for like realness and stuff, this one is really cool. And like I said, I love the armor with like the crab shell stuff or whatever, but just looks really cool. And like I said, definitely not my favorite version, but just has coolness to it. And that leaves us with Black Manta, also known as David Hyde. And he was obsessed with the ocean as a kid. And so as an adult, he designed a costume with a black wetsuit, bug-eyed helmet, and used a high-tech submersible inspired by a manta ray to go after Aquaman as Black Manta. And with his bodysuit stuff, he has enhanced strength and durability, artificial gills, a grappling line, and optic lasers. And he just looks pretty cool here. Again, an alternate version of Black Manta, but it tends to have, you know, the relatively same stuff. So we have the big head, as I said, with the big bug eyes. So we have the big red eyes and big domed head there for Black Manta, which always looks kind of crazy and cool. Sometimes it just depends on the form of it, but I think it looks pretty cool here. And I love how it's got the tubes running down into his backpack and stuff. So again, feeding the oxygen and stuff for him to be underwater, and pressure suit so it can go deep distances and stuff. And then as I said, the black wetsuit, so you can see that tied around his body with a nice texture. And then as the armor pieces, so up on his shoulders, forearms, chest plate there, like the silver details down around his crotch, and then down on his face as well. And he has fins on there. And I love the red markings just running through it as well. Just to add a little more spice of color and stuff into it. And just overall looks really cool. Now for movement, the head can twist around, and it's going to be hard with the tubes and stuff, so you can twist a little back and forth and look down that far and up that far. So pretty decent there. Shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint. It rotate around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up all the way up there, and the wrist can twist around and flex on the ball joint back and forth. We have the upper ab crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist around, and then crunch at the waist and twist around. Hips can come up that far at least and out to the side. Barely any thigh twist, but a double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, and the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So standard movements once again for this, except for the head as the tubes connected in there. And overall it looks pretty cool. Like I said, it's definitely not my perfect version of Black Manta, but it's pretty dang close, and it's hard with the design to, you know, really mess up too much. You just have to have an all black suit with the big head on it there, which is what it's got. So you can't really mess that up too much, but he still looks really awesome. Now for accessories, he does come with like his version of a trident, or I guess a spear or whatever here. It looks really cool. I love that blade design. And then the handle looks all weird, like the nice curves with the spikes at the end, and even some red details in the center there. It's almost like two weapons stuck together. It actually looks like right there in the center, but let's try and put this in his hand. So there's his spear in his hand. Looks pretty cool with that. And then he also comes with some blades that go on his forearm, so you can easily pop them out, which we did. So we can pop these into his forearm. So he's got these little gauntlet pieces here with the little holes that we can pop these blades in. So there's the blades on his arm as well. Look pretty cool. Of course, it's a little bit up there, but looks pretty cool. And he has those. So I'd say you could either give him the trident or the blades, but both of them at the same time looks a little bit crazy and ridiculous, but he still looks really cool there, which is awesome. Of course, he comes with the base we can pop him on, and then finally we have his card with his picture from the comic, which looks pretty cool there for Black Manta. And around on the back says real name David Hyde, says considered one of Aquaman's greatest enemies, Black Manta has the singular hatred or the king of Atlantis. Black Manta has always inflicted a special kind of pain upon his archenemy, cementing his reputation as one of the most ruthless and driven supervillains in the DC universe. So good explanation there for Black Manta, I guess. And like I said, really cool to have him, and I really like this design for Black Manta. Well, that's going to be it for our DC Page Punchers Aquaman wave, where we got Aquaman, Aqualad, Ocean Master, and Black Manta. All of them are pretty cool. Aquaman's definitely my least favorite, just because, like I said, I hate his upper body and that face, but all the others are really cool. I love the Aqualad. Black Manta looks cool as well. Ocean Master, like I said, I prefer the other design, but I do really like his armor and stuff, just looks so cool. So a lot of cool things about this wave, especially with the two new characters of Aqualad and Black Manta. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this for you, let me know a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.